review for your angle test. Looking at the first drawing, we're asking which statement is false, and you're just going to pick one out of the choices here, W, X, Y, or Z. So point C is on angle BXP. So you're going to want to look at the angle, and you can use your angle legs to highlight it. B to X to P. Is C on that angle? Yes, and you see point C right there is actually on the ray right there. So we're looking for the one that's false. So that's true, and we don't want a true one. All right, then point A is on the exterior of BXP. So that's the same one. Is A on the exterior? Yes, that's outside. All right. N is on, let's see, N is on the interior of angle 1. So that's a different angle. Angle 1 is right here, opening up. You see the little arc right there? That's telling you angle 1 is that section. So is point N on the interior of angle 1? No, it's on the exterior. This will be the interior, N's on the exterior. So that's our false question, our false statement right there. And then C is on angle MXB. MXB, that's that same angle. You're just following the letters, and so C is on that angle as well. All right, what's another name for angle 1? So that's the angle we already have highlighted. One thing you could look at, the vertex, the center point, where the angle actually is up in that corner, the rotation point, is X. And so each way you name this angle, it's going to have X in the middle. So that has X in the middle, that has X in the middle, that does not have X in the middle, and this one has X in the middle. So if it doesn't, and I'm asking you which one is not another name, so that one cannot work. It has C in the middle, and that's not an angle up there. It's C, point C. So all the rest of them, CXM, you could call that same angle CXM, BXM, MXC, any order, but the X has to be that middle letter. So Y is your correct, not another name for it. All right, what is the vertex of angle STP? There's no drawing, so you don't have to look at any drawing at all. You just need to know by the name where the vertex is, and we just talked about it. The vertex lies in the center, so point T is the vertex. All right, we're going to classify angle MAD. So once again, those angle legs will help if you will highlight it, MAD. When I say classify, I'm talking about the size of the angle. So that is an obtuse angle. Okay, open it like that, more than 90 degrees. All right, and then angle BAD, looking closely, don't just assume that it's acute or a right. Turn your head, actually turn it one way or another, and really focus. Get the B kind of horizontal, flat, and you'll notice it's actually leaning a little more wider, so it's also an obtuse. Okay, it's just a little bit bigger than 90 right there, that angle. And then use a protractor to find the measure of CAD. And I can't put a protractor on this. I don't think I have one on here. I'll have to show you another method to do the protractor work. Lining it up. We'll have to come back to that. All right, so number 7. Drawing at the right, if angle XYZ is bisected by AY and XYZ is 100, find angle AYZ. So we want to find AYZ, this angle right in here. but it's kind of drawn strange, and sometimes they'll do that on the ACT just to throw you off. So let's look at the whole thing to begin with. The whole entire thing, XYZ is the big angle, and that's 100. They're giving you that, and they said it's been bisected. That's the key to that whole problem. This whole angle was 100, all of it, and it got bisected by AY. So that doesn't really look like the middle, okay, but sometimes they draw them goofy. But if you bisect something, you are cutting it in half. So you're taking half of that 100 degrees. And so that side would be 50, and this side would be 50. And so AYZ, that part right there, is going to be 50 degrees. And so this is a little follow-up to it. If a 100-degree angle is bisected, each acute angle would measure 50. So that's the same kind of thing. So, moving on. The next one's talking about types of angles, and it definitely helps to use those angle legs again. So, angle BAC is right here in yellow, and angle FAD is in purple. So those two angles compared to each other, since there's two of them, it's a relationship, and you would say those are vertical. That's the ones that make the X. That's one big line, crisscrossing with one big line. Vertical angles. Okay? Anytime you see that big X, those are going to be vertical. A straight line, a perfect straight line, crossing another perfect straight line, that angle, and that angle. We're not even looking at E. E doesn't matter. Okay? We didn't mention E. Vertical angles. All right, and then what kind of relationship do you have with BAC? Same kind of thing here. And BAF. BAF is on the side right there. So that's not vertical. And are they complementary? What does that mean? 90 degrees? No, it's not making 90. Not congruent. They're not matching. They're not vertical, so that leaves linear pair. What does linear pair do? You have a straight line, and both angles, two different angles, are sitting up against that straight line, and so they're going to make 180 degrees. Called a linear pair, or called supplementary. It's the same thing. Okay? Linear pair or supplementary. All right, and then finally, if FAE is 100, what would the supplement measure? You don't even need to look at the drawing. If FAE is 100, supplement means, we just talked about it, 180. You got 100 with one of them. What else does it need to make 180? That 100 plus something is going to make 180, so we need 80 degrees. All right, now we get into more relationship types here. So we start thinking, what kind of relationships do we have? Verticals, complementaries, supplementaries. Verticals make the X, they're opposite to each other, line across, and they're going to be equal to each other. Complementaries make a right angle box, right angle, but it's splitting that right angle into two pieces. They add up to equal 90 degrees. Add together to equal 90. And then supplementary, you've got a straight line. It could be crisscrossing straight lines sitting on top like that, or just like one single straight line sitting up against it like that. They're going to add up to make 180. Okay, but it could be like we had earlier, the verticals, and then that sitting up against it. If you can put your pencil or your finger right up against there, and it's sitting, those two angles are sitting on there, they're going to add up to 180. So we start looking at our list. These are not vertical. I've got angle A right here with the 40. Just this one corner is by itself. Don't worry about this corner over here. This corner and the A, 40 and A, are not vertical. They're not making an X. They're not complementary, so that leaves supplementary. 180. 180 minus 40 leaves you 140 for the A part. Same thing's happening with B. B sitting up against there, not a vertical, not a straight, not a right angle, so it's supplementary. B and 70 make 180, so B is going to be 110. You're just saying 180 minus the one you know. A lot of stuff in geometry adds up to 180, sometimes 360. All right, next. Same thing we're looking for. We look for easy stuff first, the verticals. Look at that X right there. Making a nice neat X. That's 80, so that vertical at C would be 80. Okay. I'm going to clean it off so we don't get jumped up here. All right, D and 85, same corner. That's what we're looking for. Things that meet up at one vertex corner. They are sitting on top of a straight line. That's 180. So this will be 95. Okay, same thing over here, sitting on top of that straight line. Okay, not making an X. 180 minus 150 gives you 30. So we have 30 up in here for C, whatever letter that is. Okay. Alright, then we get a little algebra going. Now, we do have something special here. F and G are congruent. They're equal in size. So instead of putting F and G, you can put X and X. They're going to match. So you can put the same thing there. Are they vertical, making an X? Does that shape make an X? No. Looks like a letter K. That's not a right angle, so that leaves us supplementary. So we know this has got to add up to 180. You could do it a couple different ways. Remember how we said these are matching. I could put X and X. That means 1, 2, 3 pieces are adding up to make 180. I can do it this way. That's 2x plus 100 equals 180. Move your 100. 2x going to be 80, so x is 40. Now if you need to see those pieces, 1, 2, 3, 3 angles adding up against that straight line to make 180, then you got it. Otherwise, you could just do, some people would rather just do the quick way. I need 180, I've got 100. What does that leave me? 80. But what have I got to do to it? Split it between the two because they match. It's not just one piece is 80, it's both of them. It's not 80 and 80, I've got to split it between the two. So divide it in half and I get 40 and 40. And check it. See if that adds up. Those 3 numbers add up to 180. And they do. Okay? Might be safer just to do the X, 100, and the X. Doing it that way. Okay? Alright. Coming down to this one. I have a lot of people miss one like this. And it's still the same old stuff. Do we have verticals? Well, sorta. We got this. Okay? And we've got 80 here. But is H going to be 80? No, it's both of these put together would be 80. So you could do that. Okay? And that might confuse you, but you could do that and then figure out what the other one is. Or you can just look for the other stuff. Is it complementary? Do you see a right angle box? No. But we do have that straight line, straight up and down right there. 180, so this is 100. 180 minus 80 gives me 100. Okay? And then moving on, I got 100 here. Now look at the bottom. This straight line still makes 180 degrees every time. So if I need 180, how much have I already got? 40 and 100. Subtract it, and it leaves me with 40. Now don't assume that that's going to match like that every time. H is 100 and 40 is 100. It doesn't have to match every time. It just worked out that way with those 2 numbers. Alright, supplement, what does that mean? 180. PXT, go find it. P to X to T, that's 20 degrees. Subtract the 20 off of 180, it's going to be 160. The supplement just means they're going to be supplementary. They're going to add up to be 180. So 160 and 20. All right, which pair of adjacent is side by side, complementary angles? Complementary means they got to make 90 and they got to be side by side for adjacent. So it's not too hard to figure this out. Look here. Do 20 and 80, those are side by side. Do they make 90? Complementary is 90. Does that make 90? No. All right. So what does that 40 and 50? So we just got to name these two. QXR. There's a QXR. And what's the matching with it? RSS. RXS right there. So right there, B would be that answer. Just two that were complementary, making 90 degrees and side by side. All right, and then PXT, this is 20. Is it vertical to QXR? Look in there and there. Well, number one, they're supposed to match if they're vertical and they don't match. Is that making a perfect X? No. It's got one line, but then it's crooked with these others. So that's no. False. Alright, and then we're having to draw. We'll come back to the drawing. Use the drawing at the right to compute X. So we're trying to figure out, we gotta think, what type do we see here? Are they vertical, complementary, or supplementary? There's the X, they're opposite to each other, so that's vertical. That means they are equal to each other. 3x equals 2x plus 50. I'm sorry, 2x. So now you just work out your math. Get your x's together. Remember how we did before? Subtract the smaller x, get them together. Minus 2x leaves me 1x equal to 50, so x is 50. And that's all you had to find on that. You can plug it in to check it. If this is 50, that'll be 150. If this is 50, 2 times 50, that's 100 plus 50, 150. They should match. All right, this one is from that worksheet, very similar. We're going to find B, and a lot of people miss B when we had them before like this. First, the only number I know is 150. It has a vertical down here, but that's not going to help me. I need the supplement right here next to it. Supplementary, 180 minus 150. It's going to give me 30 right here for A. Okay. Now, here's the corner where A is, right there, that red dot. And then the blue dot is going to be the corner where B is. They don't have anything to do with each other. Clean this up here. Those are two different corners, and as far as you know, they don't have anything to do with each other. So don't say they're supplementary, don't say they're complementary, don't say anything, but you have to look for some extra information. Here's your extra. This is what they told you special as a certain rule to plug in. That's not normal that they do that, but sometimes they will give you some special stuff about it. It's telling you they are complementary. Are they always going to be complementary? No. On another problem, it might not match at all or have anything to do with each other. So complementary means they add up to be 90. I got 30, so that gives me 60 for B. So B is 60. Up in there. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to have a different little video that will show the how to draw with the protractor. So look for that video with protractor use.